Hello and welcome to my first ever video with my new capture card. Today we're doing a 25% race in a McLaren in Malaysia, driving S. Jenson Button. So when I'm making this commentary, I just bought my game capture yesterday, and I'm really looking forward to making videos for you guys. So we're going to do a 25% race, like I said before, driving with no assist, as you can see here, Legend AI, and no flashback. So it should be very interesting. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so here we are in a pre-race lobby in our garage. Just going through our setup now. I decided to go with 4.3 aero, as you can see in a second here. Braking is at 50-50 high standards, the balance is at 1.9, the suspension is at 1.11.9, and I do that to improve the rear balance just a little bit. And finally we've got the alignment on -350, -150, 015 and 050. So that's the setup. The strategy is option prime with the pit stop on lap 6, so we should be able to do that. But here we are now on the grid. The 5 lights are coming on now. We're putting the engine down into Limix to reduce the wheel spin over the line, and away we go. Starting in 10th position, and we've got a pretty decent start, losing 1 position of the start so far. 2 positions, in fact. We're now down into 12th position. Let's see what we can do into turn 1, trying to find the gap, but I can't find it. I tried to follow Alonso through on the outside of turn 1. It turns for the inside for turn 2 now, but everyone is blocking our run, so that's lost us a bit of time and track position as well. We're now down into 14th position as we now lose the back almost into the path of Romain Grosjean, so that was a bit scary there. But we lost 4 positions of the start effectively, as we're now trying to take advantage of the AI braking slowly into turn 4, and it looks like we've taken a couple positions. We're now up into 11th position as Alonso goes around the outside of Nico Hülkenberg through turn 5. We are now settling into this race in 11th place with Dani Kvyat right behind us and Nico Hülkenberg just in front of us. So now we cut a bit later into the race. We're now on the beginning of lap 2, and the cars ahead of us are battling a little bit, so that allows us to catch up to the back of them again. It's our teammate Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hülkenberg who are battling, so we are right on the back of them now as we now come through turn 3, losing the back end a little bit there. We're trying to push to catch those 2 cars in front of us, so we're now coming through turn 4, braking just after the 100-meter wall, turning in nicely. Don't touch the throttle too much. I still lost the back end a little bit there as we now come through turn 5, a long left-hander, and now turn 6, shifting down 1 gear, and look at the dirty edge, just understeers me wide, having understeer and oversteer at the same time almost there as we now come through turn 7 and 8, and again having a lot of understeer and oversteer on the exit as we now come through turn 9, I think it is, putting the engine down into Limix to reduce the wheel spin as we're now coming through the 2nd sector split. The gap to Hülkenberg is a half a second, and the gap to Perez is half a second as well. So yeah, we're pretty consistent as well in our driving as we're now coming through the penultimate corner. But we skip a little bit later into the race. We're now at the beginning of lap 3. DRS is enabled this lap, and there are a couple of cars going slowly now into turn 1. Valtteri Bottas runs wide, and we now try to overtake him around the outside into turn 2, and we make the move stick. And I think Valtteri Bottas was really the victim there, because he lost I think he lost 4 positions in 1 corner, so that's a bit unfortunate for him. But anyway, I'm not complaining. We're now up into 10th position, so we're now into the point scoring position. So we've still got Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen in front of us, so the order hasn't really changed. It's just Valtteri Bottas just lost a lot of positions in turn 1. As again, look at the dirty air there. I'm just understeering wide. It's an absolute joke as we now come through turn 7 and 8. And trying to don't press the throttle too much. You can see I'm fighting the wheel. I'm having a lot of oversteer at the moment as we now once again put it down into Limix for this 3rd sector. And I went a bit deep into the corner there, turn 9 it was. So that's not positive as we now lose the back end again. And I'm just wheel spinning so much that it's not doing my tyre wear any good as we now put it up into standard mix again as we go through turn 13 I think it is, as you know, come through the penultimate corner. A very hard corner to get right, but I seem to get it just about right this time. I think I did a pretty decent through there, but we've stayed within that 1 second DRS window of Nico Hülkenberg, so we pick up the DRS for this straight now, so that's going to help us to try and overtake those guys at the front. As we go a bit deep into the final corner, I outbrake myself as we lose the back end a little bit on the exit, putting it up into race mix, opening the DRS as Vettel sets the fastest lap of 1:39.4. We said at 1:31.7, but now Nico Hülkenberg is trying to overtake our teammate Kevin Magnussen up the inside through turn 1. We try to go around the outside of Hülkenberg. We're trying to follow our teammate through, but Magnussen blocks a run into turn 2, and that slows us down. And now Valtteri Bottas tries to get around the outside of us as we now lose the back end almost into the part of Valtteri Bottas now as Bottas now tries to get through, and as we run a bit wide, it's just all a bit messy here, but we've maintained 10th position now coming into turn 4, just behind our teammate Magnussen. Now as we lose the back end a bit there, it's just all kicking off on lap 4 of the Malaysian Grand Prix, as we're now trying to push to stay with Magnussen and Hülkenberg to stay within that 1 second DRS window. As we now come through turn 6 in 5th gear, now up into 6th gear, down to 4th for turn 7 and 8, and again having a little bit of oversteer on the exit there, and now putting the engine down into Limix for this last sector once again, and braking just after the 100 meter board, as we're now trying to put the power down through turn 10 as we lose the back end a bit there, and now shifting down 1 gear for turn 11, trying to get on the power as early as we can, as we now put it up into standard mix for turn 12, as we now come through turn 13 and now turn 14, the penultimate corner. And we seem to pretty much nail it there. Well, not really, because I actually turned in a little bit too early and had to correct it there, as you saw briefly. But we opened the DRS for this straight, as now the two cars in front of us, Magnussen and Hülkenberg, are battling once again. Magnussen goes around the outside of Nico Hülkenberg in the last corner, so that's very impressive from him. We now open the DRS, put it up into rich mix. Can we overtake Nico Hülkenberg maybe into turn 1? We're in his strip scene, we've got the DRS open, putting it down into standard, and we brake very late into turn 1, and we're sliding through turn 1, where we make the move stick, as we again have a little bit of oversteer on the exit there, and again now through turn 4, losing the back end a little bit there. Well, we just scored it, and now we're up into 9th position with our teammate Kevin Magnussen in front of us. So we're even going purple in this first sector, so that means that we've set the fastest sector of this race so far, as we're now coming through turn 5 in 5th gear, up into 6th even, and now down to 5th gear again for turn 6, a bit of oversteer on the exit there, now putting it up into 6th, and now down to 4th gear for turn 7 and 8, the double left hand, as we now lose the back end once again on the exit there, now putting it down into Limix for turn 9, as we brake at the 100 meter board. We're closing in a little bit on Kevin Magnussen, but as you can see in the traction zone, he just pulls away from us. We just can't get the power down properly, as we now come through turn 10, I think it is. Now it's turn 11, now turn 12, putting it up into standard mix again, as we now come through the penultimate corner, now shifting down to 2nd gear. Losing the back end a little bit there under braking, as we now open the DRS for this straight, putting it up into race mix now, and hopefully we can close in on our teammate to possibly overtaking maybe into turn 1 on the next lap. So we're now coming through the last corner again losing the back end a slight bit there on the braking, and now losing the back end again as we get on the power, as we now put it up into race mix. DRS is open, we're now on lap 6, so this is our scheduled lap to come in for our pit stop, but we're in the slipstream of Kevin Magnussen, and we dove to the inside, and that was a very aggressive move from me, but we've made it stick as we lose the back end a little bit there through turn 2, as we try to get on the power for turn 3, again losing it a little bit, but we go up through the gears as we now come up to turn 4. I'm trying to push now, I'm trying to create a gap to Kevin Magnussen and the guys behind him, because if I can make a gap now, this is a scheduled lap to come in for our pit stop, so if I can make a gap now, then I increase the chance of staying in my effective 8th position I'm in at the moment. So I hope that makes sense for you guys. I'm basically trying to make sure that the other guys around me can't do the overcut on me if they have a good in or out lap. So that's basically what I'm trying to tell you. I hope it makes sense for you guys. But now we are on the end of lap 6, so now we're going to come in for our pit stop, putting the engine down into lean mix to save a tiny bit of fuel and while we make our pit stop. So we're coming in to the pits now. A couple other drivers are deciding to stay out, so it will be interesting to see if they can jump us, if they have a good in lap, and if we have a poor out lap. So I actually didn't manage to pull out the gap, so I'm really having to push in my out lap here. But we're coming in for a pit stop. Hopefully it's a good one, and it's a 3.7 or 3.8 second pit stop actually, so it's a decent pit stop. It could be better, but fortunately we didn't get held up in the pits, so I'm not complaining. So this is gonna be our outlap, and now we're having to push because we have to come out in front of Kevin Magnussen and the other guys. So this is the time to push now, and now we cut to the end of lap 7, the beginning of lap 8, and